I don't know about cats, right? So you're mentioning feral cats and the barn and like, all right, what's the use for the cat? I don't know. I'm totally ignorant on that kind of stuff. But there's lots of people with barns and there's lots of feral cats. And apparently there's lots of mice and rats and whatever else that need handling.
There
So
is.
yeah. So where is the, there's got to be relatability with that. Isn't it true that everything we do that actually sells, right? That impinges on the marketplace and the people are like, yes, I agree, sell me that, right? Obviously, we're entering a conversation that already exists in the mind of your ideal target audience. I am not your ideal target audience for the feral cat barn thing. Okay. I don't know what that is. Okay. But other people do. So,
Yeah.
so there's an idea, everyone. I saw Jan's hand go up and then back down. Jan, did you have something you wanted to add to this?
That would not be hard. It would just be a cat with, even a rat sitting next to it and a barn behind it. And there you have a mug,
There you go.
This is not rocket science, but that would be pretty simple.
Okay.
That's not rocket science.
It's not rocket surgery, right? So is there also like some way to do satire with that, right? A lot of times people want to have a laugh, right? You think about what goes viral on social media, right? Funny memes and things that are relatable and that cause a chuckle, right? People could use a little bit of uplift. Is there some way to, and maybe it's not the feral cat with the rat thing, I don't know, but is there some ideas that are coming up? Patricia, you've got your hand up. Come on out, Patricia.
There's two things I've always wanted to do, and I have tried in every way, and there are some things you just can't do. One of them is sing. I have completely flat voice. I sing in this key of G sharp, no matter what key it's in. I'm in key G sharp, which is what a saxophone is. And also is to draw cartoons. I go through life with these cartoons in my head every time I see something going on. And it's like a cartoon going on in my head that would be absolutely hilarious. And I don't know how to put it out. So I do have things in my head where one cat is jumping off of the top of a barn and jumping onto this humongous rat that's like 3 times its size,
There you go.
Going, I gotcha, and that kind of stuff. And I've got about 30 of those. But I have a question, John.
Patricia, kids books.
Yeah, kind of.
Go. So Patricia, I have a question, and then we're going to go back to Jan, and then I'll welcome everyone to our session, which officially started. Go ahead.
My
Patricia.
question was, in here we talk about coming up with our own ideas, but yet, and I'm not disputing each one, I'm just wanting to know if there's like a percentage more than the other that we need to think about. And Rachel, she talks about don't make it hard, do the simple things and revamp everything. So are we supposed to be doing both? Are we supposed to concentrate on one or the other? And I just want to know.
I'll give you my answer. My answer is that I like to be fulfilled in multiple ways. So while I have perhaps a systemized approach to
What?
So while I may have a systemized approach to this version of doing the business, I also have my creative, fulfilling in other ways, maybe not as profitable, maybe, I don't know. Right. But if you're just going through some rote activity where you're not really involved, for me, that's not as fulfilling as it could be. And again, I'm running different kinds of businesses than what you guys are doing here. So I do have a lot of opportunity to originate ideas. I would say, especially with the fact that you don't have to have a big outlay, like you're not taking big risks. If you're inspired, right? If you're inspired to originate something and put it out and see what the marketplace thinks about it without going broke in the process, what do you got to lose, right?
Okay.
So go express.
Maybe go with Rachel's way, the proven way, and then use your creative sides to try to do something else.
Well, of course. So look, Rachel is a master of what works in the marketplace. Okay.
Right.
Does that mean that that's the final answer for all things that will ever exist in the marketplace? No. Okay. So use proven methods where you're not that involved, right? You don't have to think so much about that. The thing that has slowed me down, just speaking in terms of life and in general truth, right, is indecision, right? So if these decisions are already made, because others proved their workability. Oh, okay, let me go be the student and let me do that. Nice, right? Thank you for saving me a bunch of time. Okay, but
Right.
now that I've got this time and I've got this spare attention, well, where's that attention going to go? I mean, there's only so
Okay.
much thinking needed over here. Well, how about we look over here then? So, and the whole idea is that you're going to scale up and add methods, right? So let's say, for example, you start with a coffee cups, and that is the product. Okay, are there other products? Well, you're wearing clothes right now. How about a t-shirt? Okay. Oh, you got the sun in your eyes. Well, how about a hat? I don't know, right? I mean, once you've got the methods, insert whatever products and then, expand, right? This is all about expansion. So, but at the same time, you want to get momentum with that which is most accessible. So that which is most accessible requires the least amount of decision-making and creativity and investment, et cetera. Okay.
Right.
I hope
Okay.
that answers your question.
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Let's go to Jan. And then I thought I saw Missy. Hey, Jan.
Hey, Guy. Okay. So you find a cat, a black and white cat and a rat, and you say, maybe the rat needs some salt before the cat eats it. I mean, there's some terrible humor, but you just have, if you're trying to make a funny something, the cat can even have the rat in its mouth and say, at the bottom, it needs some salt, or ketchup, or, there's just, all I have to do is look at pictures, and my humor just goes nuts. And so I have some of the funniest mugs on the planet because
Yes, you do.
So anyway,
I just got another idea.
well, look, see, there's another idea.
Here it is. And I don't know anything about cats and rats and whatever, but I'm thinking about needs salt. Okay. I watch with my daughter, I watch Gordon Ramsay, Master Chef. Right.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so they're very critical of the seasonings. And I don't know if maybe you can probably be, using the image or likeness of Gordon Ramsay wouldn't be good, but I'm just thinking of like a Master Chef version of the cat with the rat. The other thing is there's more than one way to skin a cat. What if the cat was saying there's more than one way to skin a rat? Kind of like Chick-fil-A. The cows are saying eat more chicken. So the cows are campaigning for you to not eat them, eat more chicken, right? So, and that went totally viral. Like everywhere you go where there's a Chick-fil-A, you see the cow, eat more chicken, right? That stuck, right? So what would the cat say? I don't know. I'm just coming up with ideas.
You need your own accounts. You need to start
Yeah,
getting
you
those.
should quit your businesses because you are a mug guy now.
Well, no, this is for you. You guys go run with this, right? You do the mug thing. Okay. Jan, were you complete on that thought or do you have more to say? No, Jan's done. Missy, you've got the floor.
Well, I don't know if it's germane anymore, but I borrowed from my favorite comedian, and I managed to make a funny, sarcastic mug about backyard pest control, Italian style. And it's, I don't know if anybody knows what I'm referring to, but
Okay.
it's pretty funny.
Sure. Okay. I think I got what you're
And I
saying.
got it favorited today, this morning.
Uh-huh. Okay. Very good. So that's, maybe not as relatable to everyone, but there's definitely an audience for that. I thought I saw another hand. Was that Briton? Who was that? Denise, maybe?
No, it was Britain. I keep going up and down and up and down.
Okay. Yeah. I'm getting confused here.
I know I'm getting confused too, but I just wanted to say something like what you just said a few minutes ago about like when we talk about scaling up, you always think about like scaling up like the amount of products or the items that you're putting on a mug, you're going to put it on a shirt and that type of thing. But what you said was scaling up that I thought was interesting is you said there are different methods. So that, I don't know, really struck a chord. So we may be doing something one way, but we don't have to always do it that one exact way. But once we learn the basics of doing it that one way, we can learn different methods or different ways of doing things. And I thought that was really interesting.
Thank you, Briton.
Do you see what I'm
Totally.
saying though? Or get it? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, because in my world was what I do, which is very subjective, right? We've got, so let's say I'm doing a lesson, a lecture on something, some aspect of, production or entrepreneurship or just general livingness. There are principles upon which we can base a variety of methods, but without the principles, well, you're just kind of shooting in the dark. Think of it like gravity. Okay, so we've got we've got all these structures like houses and buildings and bridges and rocket ships. Okay, but what do we know? What's the unchangeable principle? Gravity. Right. So without that, you got nothing. Right. So we know gravity. Very good. Now let's work with the law. All right. So thank you, Briton. Denise has her hand up, and it's still up. So I am unconfused. Thank you, Denise. Right. Where is Denise? Hello, Denise. Unmute Denise. Denise?
Now, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Okay.
There she is.
Okay. So there was one thing I wanted to say too, is that remember Rachel says this, you can come up with all kinds of great ideas, but who are you selling it to? Who is going to buy it? You can come up with a ton of funny things, but who is the audience? So like, John, you said about the spices and the cat and the rat. Well, chefs, that would be a funny mug for a chef, right? So that was one thing I was thinking. Just make sure that when you're thinking of funny mugs or who, thinking of ideas, remember who is the audience, who are you selling it to, who is going to buy it, what niche is it, that kind of thing. So.
Right. Well, exactly, Denise. I admitted earlier, I am ignorant as to the ways of feral cats and their usefulness or non-usefulness in the barn. I don't know. I don't know anything about that. I'm a city rat, right? All I know is, you walk down the street and, cats are eating out of the dumpster or something. I don't know, right? But there are people who do know. So here's the thing, everyone. So here's a principle, like Briton just talked about, foundational principles and then methods you can build upon with other methods and all this. We can only succeed when we enter the conversation that already has agreement in the mind of your ideal target audience. So what Denise is talking about here is not being vanilla, of course. Right? If you're vanilla, you're ignored. Okay. But I am targeting specifically that person who's already in this conversation, right? Mentally, right? That's already real for them. And anytime, and we've talked about this briefly before, I do this in sales trainings, but anytime I get in communication with someone about something that's already real to them, their affinity, their liking, their tolerance of me must increase. Okay. So right now, if I started talking to Denise about, how awesome it is to live in the Western United States and how great the Red Rocks are and all that kind of stuff, right? She would likely agree with me because she lives in the Red Rocks and, the West, and we like the West, right? Okay, great. The other day, in contrast, okay, and I did this jokingly, and she took it seriously for a minute and then she recovered. Okay. But I said after we had a little banter about Utah, Southern Utah, I was like, by the way, everyone, Utah is the worst place in the world. Nobody ever wants to go to Utah. Utah sucks. And she was like, what are you talking about? Right. So that was not real. That was not real. We are out of agreement. She's like, whoa, back off, buddy. So you see that? Okay. No agreement. All right. Of course, I said that just because, it was a fun thing. And yeah, it's kind of the best kept secret in North America, right? Yeah. The West. It's really great. Didn't Jim Morrison say the West is the best? He did. He wasn't right about much, but he was right about that. So there you go. Maybe that's something for your coffee cup. The West is the best. Yeah. And then maybe like different themes on that. I know a lot of times we're just dealing with word art right here in this group, right? You're taught to just stick with real basic stuff. Don't get too artsy or whatever, but the West is the best. What does that mean? Is that like cowboy, like lariats and lassos and stuff? Is that cactus? Is that rocks and mountains? I don't know. What is the West? What does it mean for you? I could tell you what it means for me. Here's what it meant for me yesterday. Okay. So yesterday I went hiking with my daughter because we live in the West and we love the desert and we like to get a little exercise. Let me go ahead and pull up a picture for you real quick. This is less than 24 hours ago. Hold on, share screen, John, get the thing working to do the thing with the thing. Here we go. Here's me and my daughter out in the Santan Mountains and doing the thing, right? Can you guys see that? Yes. There she is, my sweetie. Okay. We got some jagged rocks over there. I like the jagged rocks. So for me, that's something you do in the West. Maybe you're into the East. I mean, I don't know, but the West is the best. I agree with that. Sean, what do you think, brother? Sean's got the floor. Come on out. Unmute Sean. Sean. Hello, Sean. Unmute, please. There he is. Yes, sir.
Sorry about that. I joined a little bit late. My apologies. So I have a question, actually. Yes, I don't know if you covered this already, but I wanted to know, hi to everybody, first of all. So what are the indicators that we should look for on Amazon that determine a good seller? I just started the first module. I went over it last night. I wasn't able to absorb all of it because it was a little bit late, but could you give us a brief rundown?
I can't, right? There's whole videos on that in your low-hanging system. So in the course material, yeah, ways to assess the salability or the popularity of a product. So yeah, it's a bit more of a conversation than we can just have here, you know, with our little get together.
Okay.
But how long you been here with us, Sean?
Just 5 minutes.
Oh, so you just joined low hanging system like 5 minutes ago?
Well, I joined, I'd say less than a week ago.
Right. So you're very new. So a little bit more than 5 minutes, maybe 8 minutes. Okay, good. So keep showing up. There's a lot of course material to go through, and you're digging into like some really rich content with that question. All right. So definitely dig in on that. We do it pretty much here. We just kick around ideas and talk about mostly personal development and entrepreneurship. And I'm really glad you're in this conversation because I think we're getting some mileage out of this, right? We didn't even have a topic coming into this today. We just were talking and we went live because it was time to go live, and like all these ideas are coming up. So, but yeah, how to massage that into a workable, you know, more systemized approach. Sean definitely is in the course material. All right. Glad you're here, brother. Where are you located?
I'm in Toronto, Canada.
I've heard of it. Yeah. Toronto. Yeah.
Yeah. The Blue Jays, maybe. Toronto Raptors.
Yeah.
Drake.
Yeah. I've heard of it. Yeah. All right, brother. Glad you're here. Sean, everybody from Toronto. Yay. All right. Nice. Any other thoughts today since we're on this non-topic topic? Well, I guess the topic is, you know, what are your ideas worth? And I guess the punchline for that is the marketplace will tell you what your ideas are worth, but they won't tell you if you don't get them out there, right? So rather than standing on ceremony or living in a state of chronic indecision about what's right and wrong, optimal, not optimal, right? You can't steer a parked car. So do it, right? Ooh, and then you'll see, right? Who else has some thoughts on this? Anybody else want to come out on this impromptu session today? Patricia, once again, Patricia aims to please. Come on, Patricia. I'm ready to be pleased. Where's Patricia? What's going on with mute buttons today? By the way, last I heard, all of Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp is down, like the whole damn thing. I saw somebody asking, how do I join the Facebook group? Well, first their servers have to be up. Patricia, you've got the floor. I'm
sorry. There I am. Okay, while I was listening to all the different ideas, I decided to do what Rachel said, and I went into Amazon and I decided, I'm sorry, I cannot remember the lady that was saying that about the make sure you have an audience. So I went into Amazon and I was looking up cat and mouse mugs or cactus in the desert mugs. And everything that we talked about, your ideas, John, everybody else's ideas, there's a cut of some sort on those types of humor. But the humor that we came up with, to me, was a whole lot more funnier than what's already in there. So there is audiences for everything that we've talked about today. And I think just about anything, everything that I found, every time we talk about something in this group, I always check it out just to see. And like there was one thing that was hilarious, but it would have been a whole lot funnier with a cat and a mouse than what it was. So I'm going to go and do what Rachel said, excuse me, and play off of that cup, you know, and that's like my number one thing to do is go in and change that cup. And all it is a white cup with black writing, black letter writing. Yeah, no cartoons, no pictures, no nothing, just words. And it was hilarious. So I'm going to change it to a cat and a mouse, and I don't know, can't hurt to try, you know? So
why not?
Yeah. So combining, I guess what I'm trying to say is using Rachel's proven method and combining creative thoughts. You can go look up your creative thoughts, like she said, see if there's anything out there like it already. And if there is, now I don't know how much these cups were being checked into, but there was a lot of cups on that idea. So somebody's looking into it, you know, so maybe if they saw our cup, they might think, oh, I like this one better. Anyway, so there you go.
And a cup is one type of a product. There's other ways to deliver that same communication via different. So maybe it doesn't stick with the cup. Maybe we like the shirt. I don't know. Right.
I was thinking shot glass.
The shot glass. There you go. Right. So look, we're talking a little bit about plagiarism, which, I mean, you could look at as a negative thing. Okay. Although we're not ripping off somebody's stuff, right? We're not infringing on, copyrights or patents or anything, or trademarks, right? God forbid you cannot do that. Okay. Only Harley Davidson can do that. Now, does that mean you can't have Skulls and Flames? Of course you can have Skulls and Flames, but there's a registered trademark. So obviously there's a line you don't want to cross. But when we think about something that Johann Herder said, German philosopher, he said, all intelligent thoughts have already been thought. All you got to do is think them again. Okay. So, all right, well then do that. And can you, kind of do your own personal style with that, or somehow see how times have changed and the conversation has changed in the mind of your ideal target audience, and deliver, see what's needed and wanted, and deliver. Simple. So who else? So we've got Kelly and Joe. Come on out, Kelly and Joe, and then Mark.
Hey, I was just saying that I got caught up with in Oklahoma. They knew I was a city slicker. With all my paintings coming out, Leaning Tree bought them because they were half cartoon and half of realism. So stay with the realism and the cartoons in your head, but just get a recorder and record it when those ideas come, and then you can pop them. But yeah, they all knew I was a city slicker.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Well, I grew up in New Jersey, right? I mean, I choose to live in Arizona now, but now I'm a desert rat, but still not like, I don't know anything about barn cats, right? So glad you're here. Looking forward to seeing you, Joe and Kelly. Carol, you've got a question. I don't see your hand up, but I did see you in the chat. Carol, what's your question?
Yeah. Okay, so this is just to find out whether this would be offensive. But I thought, and I don't.
Yes, the answer is yes. Someone will be offended. No matter what you say, someone will be offended.
Okay.
Yes. What's your next question? Go ahead. You can't offend me. I'm from New Jersey. Go ahead. Say whatever you want.
Right. Well, I was wondering whether, and it sort of hits on the religious thing, but I was just thinking of kosher and halal. And I was just thinking like maybe the cat or the rat looks at the cat and says, "Are you kosher?" Just before I eat it. Or are you a halal? Or, something like that. But I don't know if that would really offend people or.
I don't know. Do we have any people here who have an opinion about that? Yeah, for me, that doesn't mean a whole lot. I'm not practicing Jew, or halal would be I'm sorry, I don't know all the. All right, got it. Right. So is that offensive or something? For me, no, but I'm not, offended by stuff.
Right.
Anybody else have an opinion about that? None taken, says Jan. Okay, very good. Great. All right, so there's your answer. Right, go ahead, Sean.
I wouldn't be offended in the least. I eat halal and kosher. I'm a practicing Muslim. I think that's funny, actually.
Really?
So,
Cool.
yeah, I would run with it. Yeah,
Oh,
Right.
I think it's cute.
Okay, thank you.
I
Good.
think that's a cute idea.
Right. And Carol, understand, and this is just John talking now. Okay, so do what you want with this. But as I indicated before, yeah, somebody's going to be offended no matter what. It was Albert Green Hubbard who said, to avoid criticism, do nothing, say nothing, be nothing. Right. So I guess that's your alternative. Right. So if you don't reach, yeah, you're not going to offend anybody. You're also not going to make any money and nobody will know who you are. And yeah, so I would say reach. Right. There you go.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you. Mark, and then Denise. Hey, Mark, come on out.
Hey, John. Hey, Sean. We're neighbors, so good. I'm from Manitoba, so welcome, Sean. So I just want to talk about competition and plagiarism and all that stuff, because for me, I got hung up on, like you just said, John, West is the best. Well, you have 63 people now. They're going to go start making mugs that, make West is the best. And I had to get past myself, or I had to get myself out of my own way, in that I was always thinking, well, that's been done already, so I'm not going to create that idea on that cup. And I had to get past that. I had to let that go, because I realized, I hope I'm going to, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think other eyes are going to see my product. It's not going to be always the same person looking at different products, because we're never going to run out of customers. So I just want to share that for myself, that the competition and the plagiarism and all that stuff, well, we make it our own, but I had to get out of my own way. Let me put it this way. I wouldn't put stuff on cups because I thought it was saturated, and I'm not doing that anymore, because I got caught up in that little trap. So what I'm hearing about ideas out here, and I think they're great ideas. My message to everyone that I'm just learning, I'm still learning this, is don't get caught up in the ideas. Put them out there, because you're not, the competition is good, but there's enough to go around, and I'm learning that. So I just want to pass it on, because I think it's a good message.
Thank you, Mark. Yeah, and what does it cost you to put it out there, right? I mean, we're not building skyscrapers here, right? This is not like a high risk kind of a thing. I will say this now that we've had a good go around with this, and then we're going to hear from Denise again, and then Cynthia. But one line that I would not cross would be ethics, your own personal ethics. I mentioned this before, maybe a couple months ago, where like one thing I would never put out is anything that glorifies drug use or drunkenness, right? For me, I'm a sober guy, right? So for me, that's just out. Other people love that. Okay, right. That doesn't mean I'm offended by it. If you want to go be a drunkard or something, whatever. It's just not my way. So I wouldn't promote that for me. All right. Denise, your thoughts, and then we'll go to Cynthia. Denise.
Yeah. So I just wanted to say to Carol, you should just put out whatever you want. If people are offended, that is their problem. People shouldn't be offended by anything, but they choose to be offended. So it's their choice. If they are offended, it's their choice to be offended. People that are humble don't get offended. People that want to find something to be offended about will always get offended, regardless of what it is. I personally, I'm the same as John. I don't like drug things. I don't like alcohol things, and I hate mugs that have the F word on them. I cannot stand it, but I don't get offended by it. I don't, like say to somebody, oh, you shouldn't do that, because it's people's choice. Whatever they want to put on there, that's their choice. And so I don't dislike somebody because they put things on that I don't like. They are who they are. They're great people. That's their choice. So you should just do what you want to do and not worry if it upsets somebody, because people are always going to find something to be offended about if they want to be offended. So.
Right. Yeah. Some people are like professionals at it. Like they're
Right.
offended. Yeah.
Exactly.
Thank you, Denise. All right. I think we got one more hand up, and that is Cynthia. Hey, Cynthia. How you doing?
Well, I think everybody just kind of summed it all up really well. And that is, there's all kinds of versions and all kinds of people. And so, yeah, we all have our own flavor. There's not just one flavor of chocolate,
Right.
There's milk chocolate, there's dark chocolate. Anyway, so there's an audience for each one of us, even in the same venues, that there might be other products out there. But I think that the fact that people too, I think it was Patricia's comment earlier about, numerous people having similar sayings on mugs, that says that there's at least an interest out there. So that's kind of a good clue too. That also ties over to Mark's comment too. And that I was kind of where Mark is. And that it's like, oh no, if somebody else did it, I better not do it. It might be plagiarism. It might be, trademark or whatever. And I think there's a lot of variety we each bring to everything we do. So yay. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Cynthia. Glad you're here, my friend. All right. Any burning desires, anything that somebody needs to share? Otherwise, they're going to burst into spontaneous combustion or something. Come on out. Everybody good? Everybody's good. Okay. Awesome. Look at that. We had exactly a half hour together. We're actually ending on schedule. Actually, it's kind of loose on the end, but we always start exactly on time. You guys know the policy. If you can't be on time, be early. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up for today. The room will be open again if anybody else wants to get together, share some ideas. In the meantime, I'll be back with you on Wednesday for this group. Karen will be here with you tomorrow. All right. So enjoy that. And I'll look forward to